On stage, volunteers overcome many challenges to ensure the success of a Tzu Chi charity concert in Chiayi. Tzu Chi volunteers distribute slippers to more than 700 refugees at the Obrenovac Refugee camp in Serbia. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Tzu. Thank you for joining us. In Taiwan, a Tzu Chi charity concert to raise funds for refugees was recently held in Chiayi. The performance involved staff from Dalian Tzu Chi Hospital, entrepreneurs from Chiayi and Yunlin, and a group of young people. For many of these performers, rehearsals were challenging, but they're glad to do their part and inspire compassion. For those in the audience, it was an opportunity to spread their love to refugees. The kind thoughts of the audience resonate with the sounding of drums. Tzu Chi's charity concert in Chiayi officially starts with a performance by Dalian Tzu Chi Hospital staff, entrepreneurs from Chiayi and Yunlin, and young people. Among them is a brother and sister pair. The elder sister, Lin Yishan, is hearing impaired and relies on her cochlear implant. Therefore, she had to practice extra hard to get the beats right.
After diligent practice every day, I noticed that the skin on my hand peeled and developed calluses. However, I cannot give up and I must continue.
We had to stretch before we play the drums. Therefore, stretching was the most difficult part in the beginning. Later on, when we worked with drummers from other areas, our challenge was to play the drums in uniform.
Concert performing artists also take turns to sing some moving songs to inspire the listeners' compassion. Many Buddhist Dharma masters recognize the purpose of the concert, which is to inspire love.
It is very precious because we plant the seeds of love in the heart of all the Tzu Chi volunteers. It is great that they will spread the Buddhist teachings to all.
This is the second time Liu Xiaoling has come to Tzu Chi's charity concert. This time she has invited her friends and families to come pray for refugees.
We cannot feel the pain and suffering endured by these people. We can spread our love to them through this charity concert.
As everyone prays with sincere piety for Syrian refugees, they've proven that love transcends ethnicities and distances. In Qingshui, Taichung, there's a Tzu Chi care recipient, Ms. Lai, who is an Indonesian immigrant living with her son. Since her traditional courtyard house was dilapidated, Tzu Chi volunteers spent 2 months rebuilding it for her. To celebrate the completion of the renovation, more than 50 volunteers helped put up spring couplets and made glutinous rice balls, as well as expressing their best wishes for this family. In the old photo, the traditional compound house cannot protect people from the elements because its roof tiles were blown away and part of the walls had collapsed.
When we first came here, this part almost collapsed and we could see the stars from here.
Tzu Chi volunteers spent 2 months repairing the house, including rebuilding its roof, bedroom, and bathroom.
I thought they would just rebuild the roof so it won't leak. I did not expect they could do this much. I feel very surprised. It is as if they are being too generous to us.
After Ms. Lai's husband passed away, she has been living with her son. As a 63-year-old Indonesian immigrant, she works at a bento shop. She was feeling low because she could not afford to repair the house.
I could not shower or sleep because my house leaked. Then I also got sick. Now I'm so happy that all my illness has gone away.
To celebrate the completion of the renovation, the volunteers made glutinous rice balls and put up spring couplets. The volunteers also sing together to express their best wishes for this family.
In 2015, Typhoon Solar destroyed Heliu tribal village in Taoyuan, displacing 48 residents. To help these typhoon victims, Taoyuan city government and Tzu Chi Foundation worked together to build permanent housing. An opening ceremony was recently held to celebrate the completion of this work. In total, 15 households have received help and finally have a home to live in.
After waiting for more than 700 days, the residents of Heliu tribal village finally have new houses to live in. Tzu Chi volunteers give out homemade jelly and glutinous rice as best wishes. Taoyuan city governments collaborated with Tzu Chi Foundation to build permanent housing for Heliu tribal village. The completion and opening ceremony is full of blessings and gratitude.
好漂亮的房子。
This house is so beautiful. I cannot express my excitement in words. Thank you.
很感恩这样子。
I have so many neighbors here, and my grandchildren also live here. I feel very happy. It's great to have you.
Master Zheng Yan also wrote a blessing letter in hopes that everyone in his tribe can live and work in peace.
从今而后。
From this day on, everyone can live a happy life. I feel very happy for all of you.
The completion of this housing meets the needs of the 15 households, allowing these 48 residents to live with ease.
We spent 1 year obtaining the land. Later, we carried out the urban planning, soil and water conservation, and environmental impact assessment. Tzu Chi spent less than 1 year completing the reconstruction, and they worked very hard.
We expect that the residents in this area can work together to create a wonderful and harmonious community.
We can see from the bird's eye view that the new permanent housing in Heliu's tribal village is clean and bright, with each household living next to one another. Hong Jinghui and his family were forced to live in different areas because of the typhoon. On this day, they could finally get together.
心里终于放下。
I can finally relieve my worries. I no longer need to go back and forth to see my mother. Now, since I'm able to return to this place, we can once again live together just like what we did in the past.
In the past, Mr. Hong had to drive 40 minutes to see his family. Now he only needs to walk for 2 minutes. Since the tribal village is now settled around a common street, it not only meets the needs of solitary seniors, but it's also more convenient for local residents to take care of one another.
It is more convenient for us to promote our political policies or interact with local residents.
Seniors who are very old or live alone live in the middle of this area, where they can be taken care of by their neighbors.
The new design can not only help bring the residents close together, but it also allows all the residents of this tribe to live in the same place.
Indonesia is rich in natural resources, and many foreign companies have invested in Indonesia based upon these resources. This also includes Taiwanese investment. Indonesia is the third highest producer of rice in the world. Importing agricultural machinery from Taiwan's small and medium-sized companies has become quite popular and has helped Indonesia close the gap when it comes to agricultural technology. Here is our in-depth report.
Bangka Island is rich in minerals, with most of the islanders relying upon tin mining for their livelihood. But supplies of tin are not inexhaustible, as residents still need to find another way to support themselves.
It's becoming more and more difficult to mine tin because supplies are dwindling. Even getting 1 to 2 kilograms is not enough to support a family, as farming may be a better option.
Many residents are like Ah Chong and have decided to return to farming. Now on Bangka Island, 30% of the residents have changed to farming palm trees, which can be used by the food industry as it has a high output value. Harvests take place just once a month, and the more one is able to plant, the more one earns.
With enough fertilizer and nutrients in the earth, a good harvest can net us 20 to 50 kilograms.
Unfortunately, such harvests have damaged the earth.
Local residents have been cutting trees and burning forests to plant palm, but this activity inspired by economics has led to a lot of smog and pollution, leading to protests in neighboring Singapore and Malaysia. In 2014, they signed an international agreement to curb this issue related to smog and ultimately find a solution.
According to World Bank statistics, in 2015, Indonesia lost more than $16.5 billion due to smog, with more than 2.6 million hectares burned, which is nearly 100 times the size of Taipei City.
Pemerintah Indonesia mendeklarasikan bahwa akan berkontribusi.
In order to delay global warming, Indonesia has the goal of reducing carbon emission by 26%, with future goals 41% carbon reduction. The Indonesian government is now trying to standardize reforestation and renewable energy.
Indonesia has joined the ranks of carbon reduction, with the government starting from land management to the construction of green buildings. The results were evident for many to see, as in 2016, Indonesia ranked number 24 in carbon reduction. As the country wants to keep up with the rest of the world, it needs to address its inadequate infrastructure. On the island of Java, there's a tight energy supply problem, with the government and civil cooperation developing hydropower to maintain basic energy supply for citizens. Driving from Jakarta to Sukabumi takes 8 hours by car as one enters mountainous tribal areas. Everyone here is waiting for TV crews to arrive as they all turn on their lights as a sort of welcoming. This hydropower plant has changed the tribal lifestyle, but hasn't changed people's respect for the land.
How to taking care of the water? We need to plant the tree. Because if the tree gone, the water also gone. Electricity will gone. So everybody in this field, they understand that this is important. Electricity important to them. They need to maintain, plant the tree.
Indonesia for a long time has been blindly pursuing economic development, but exploitation of the land has led to some consequences. In recent years, growing environmental awareness has led to an awakening in Indonesia, with more importance attached to maintaining the environment. Furthermore, a geographical location near the equator, along with ample sunshine, rainfall, and fertile soil, has led to some unique geographical advantages, helping build up traditional Indonesian agriculture. According to statistics, Indonesia's rice production ranked third in the world, but because of low production efficiency coupled with high costs, the country largely relies on foreign imports, leaving many residents hungry. Taiwan's farming technology has enjoyed 40 years of history in Indonesia, first established in East Java, later going to Surabaya, Yogyakarta, Bogor, Bali, and Lembang. Now some 90 core farmers have been trained in agricultural technology, along with production and marketing skills.
They want to develop in three main directions. One is water irrigation, the other is development of agricultural machinery and rice production. These are the main causes of lack of efficiency.
There are no typhoons here, which is a great adventure. Almost everything here is built from bamboo, but this will not last in Taiwan. As soon as a typhoon came, all of this would be destroyed. But this is not a problem here. The other problems Indonesia faces are temperatures being too hot, along with too much rain in the rainy season.
To solve the problem regarding lack of equipment, Taiwan's International Cooperation and Development Fund provided help to build intelligent greenhouses with automatic temperature control and sales and marketing facilities. Indonesia's Farming Training Center also set up a cooperative, jointly launching a brand with Taiwan, as these economic activities will improve the income of farmers.
We hope that we can, like Taiwan, use technology to pursue progressive agriculture. Taiwan's agricultural technology has allowed us to learn a lot and has been quite helpful for me.
Taiwan has long been an agricultural country that is quite skilled in this field. Sharing this knowledge has helped Indonesia, as there is now an opportunity to enhance bilateral cooperation as well as capacity. Soon, Indonesia's status will soon rise higher in Southeast Asia, becoming an important force on the world stage.
Tzu Chi volunteers have continued to care for the refugees at Obrenovac Refugee camp in Serbia. Seeing that most of them had worn out their shoes, volunteers recently purchased more than 1,300 pairs of slippers and distributed some 700 pairs to the refugees at this camp.
For average people, these pairs of shoes which are worn out should have been discarded. But for the refugees who are stranded in Serbia, these shoes are the only things that can protect their feet.
In camp we have mostly people from Afghanistan, after that people from Pakistan, after that Eritrea, Somalia, Sri Lanka, little bit of Egypt, Syria, and that's all.
The refugees who come from different parts of the world have worn out their shoes. Therefore, Tzu Chi volunteers bought new slippers and distributed them to the needy refugees. These type of shoes are made all in one piece, which can avoid water retention and maintain solid. As the Obrenovac Refugee camp, volunteers from Serbia, Bosnia, and Germany give out the slippers to the refugees with respect.
Thank you, Tzu Chi!
In total, the volunteers purchased 1,320 pairs of slippers. This time, they have distributed 700 some pairs. The rest of them will be kept at the Commission for Refugees, which will later be given to the newly arrived refugees.
Vietnam's Ban Trinh province suffered a severe drought the whole year, leading the residents of two communities to lack access to clean water. Since July of this year, Tzu Chi volunteers have begun to distribute 500 horizontal water towers to help them. Let's take a look.
Tzu Chi volunteers once again came to An-Help area of Ban Trinh province after their first water tower distribution here in mid-July. The 117 water towers that are placed on the sports ground of this junior high school are the gift to local residents from Tzu Chi.
We hope by distributing water towers to local residents, we can help improve their quality of drinking water and life.
Last year, Ban Trinh province suffered a severe drought, leading local residents to experience crop failure and the lack of tap water. After learning the news from local government, the volunteers have begun to distribute water towers since July of this year. In total, 500 families from two communities have received help.
I want to congratulate the residents on behalf of Ban Trinh Province's Friendship Association. With the safe water containers, we can ensure your safety when you use water. All the residents should cherish and protect this meaningful gift from Tzu Chi.
In consideration of the convenience for cleaning, the volunteers distributed horizontal water towers to the residents, including those who live in the offshore island. The volunteers delivered water towers to them by boat.
On behalf of my community, I sincerely thank Tzu Chi and each unit for helping the residents in An-Help. I hope in the future Tzu Chi can once again work with local government to help other impoverished residents.
After receiving water towers, the residents finally show smiles on their faces, which also relieves their worries.
In Canada, since 2008, Tzu Chi volunteers in West Toronto go to Bruckner Rhododendron Gardens 3 times a year to help clean up the environment. At their most recent volunteer service there, 6 Syrian immigrants have joined them. The Syrian immigrants remarked that this was an unforgettable experience because they're able to serve the public with their family. Let's join them there.
Bruckner Rhododendron Gardens, located in Mississauga City, is the second largest garden in Canada. To maintain the beauty of the garden, a group of volunteers have come to help out. Among them are 6 friends from Syria.
Today is the most unforgettable moment since I came to Canada because I'm serving with my children. We did this a lot when we were in Syria.
A staff member from the Arabian Community Center in Toronto also came to help out.
There's nothing more better than helping people, helping in cleaning, helping in distributing donations. That's what you are doing and what you are supporting the Syrian refugees, and we are so thankful.
As these volunteers give of themselves in the magnificent park, they've also shown the beauty of human kindness.
A group of Tzu Chis left Taiwan and went to Guizhou, China for a cultural exchange. They held a 2-day camp with local young volunteers at Sandu Lalan Elementary School for children in the area. For the young volunteers, this was an precious experience for them to work with the local children. Let's join them there.
When these Tzu Chis arrived at the hotel, young volunteers are already there to welcome them, even with passionate hugs, because these volunteers know Tzu Chi very well.
Tzu Chi held a winter distribution for us so we could have food, clothes, and comforters. We were very moved back then.
Tzu Chi volunteers have also helped them with schooling.
I feel my life is very rich because I can know someone far away, and the blessing they give to me cannot be reached by anyone else.
这个是我画的，你画的。
Yao Chunzhu passed the university entrance exam this year. She was once a girl herding cows in the country. Tzu Chi volunteers are there for her and watch her going to school and changing her life.
They didn't believe a farm child like me could enter university, but I shouldered the pressure and forced myself to study hard.
Her story inspires other farm children. Tzu Chi and the young volunteers are preparing for a 2-day camp activity at Sandu Lalan Elementary School. Before it begins, they came to clean up the place.
When some people move in and see they'll stay at this clean place, they'll become very happy.
Not just the dormitory, they also cleaned up the classrooms and the washrooms.
When I got wet, I just felt, oh well, I simply kept on scraping. I look forward to seeing the kids' expressions when they see this washroom. They'll feel this is brand new, and I will feel very satisfied.
The 2-day camp is packed with activities, laughter, and reflections. When it's time to bid farewell, they become emotional.
想你们啦！我们以后要不要再见面啊？以后我希望还能再见面。能够再见面了。
The time is short, but it has left behind much warmth and love that will last for a long time.
In Guatemala, Tzu Chi volunteers recently headed to San Jose Pinola to visit 8 impoverished families, distributing aid supplies to them. In addition, they also visited a nursing home and children's center in St. Augustine, sharing joy and laughter with the residents. We'll leave you with these images at the end of our program. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.